I've been a big fan of ultralight backpacking and dropping weight from my pack for years, but from time to time, maybe I've taken it too far. I've slept on 1/8-inch thick sleeping pads, cold-soaked meals, and tried to keep dry and away from bugs under tiny little tarps. So today I'm sharing my go-to lightweight gear list with a base weight of 15 pounds. It aims to maximize comfort at the expense of a little bit of extra weight. Let me know if you think this gear setup is more up your alley and you prefer the comforts at camp that it brings, or if you're more the type of person who likes to drop weight from their pack so that their hiking and on-trail time is easier. We're gonna start off talking about the pack. Some items on this gear list are gonna be 100% comfort items, while other items are gonna be more weight focused in order to balance out the heavier comfort items. And then some other items are gonna be kind of an in-between. The REI Flash 55 is a full-on comfort item at 1,275 grams, but it packs some really awesome features. Its adjustable torso, strong frame, and comfortable foam along the back and hip allow it to carry weight really well. And then the water bottle pockets, side pockets, front pocket, hip belt pockets, and brain provide great accessible storage. But it's really the weight carrying ability of the Flash 55 that makes it stand out. I've carried 50 pounds in this pack and it handled that no problem. You're more likely to run out of room inside the pack before you hit the weight carrying capacity limit. For the tent, we have the Durston X-Dome 1 Plus. It's both a comfort item and an ultralight item. It's one of the lightest freestanding tents on the market, but it's still roomy, lightweight, storm-worthy, and made with great materials. You can fit a 30-inch wide long sleeping pad inside the X-Dome 1 Plus and then still have room left over for some gear beside you. There's not really many other one-person tents in the market that can do that. Normally, you're gonna have to be going to a two-person tent to get that kind of space. 30-inch wide pads are really heavy, so I opted for just a regular wide sleep system. For the top insulation, we have a Zenbivy bed. Zenbivy is pretty much the go-to when it comes to comfort. It allows you to toss and turn easily under the quilt, has a hood for head insulation, and then the sheet and quilt attachment system provide some comfort and help keep drafts out. You have to go with the ultralight version of the Zenbivy if you want to hit that more lightweight base weight, but they make a lot of other options that are a little bit less expensive, but at the sacrifice of it being a little bit heavier. My wife's favorite Zenbivy is the Zip Bed Trek with zippered sides and then a really soft pongee material that it's made out of. You have to pair the Zenbivy bed with the Zenbivy pillow. It combines an inflatable bladder with a down topper and then puts all of that inside of a sheet that connects to the sheet and the hood of the Zenbivy bed, making for a very secure and super comfortable option. I wish it didn't weigh 268 grams. It is a very heavy pillow, but pillows can make a huge difference for comfort, and I think Zenbivy makes one of the most comfortable pillows on the market. For the sleeping pad underneath the Zenbivy, we have the REI Helix sleeping pad. It's a 24-inch wide pad, so you get a little bit of extra space over a regular width pad, and it's very comfortable. It is a comfort item at 700 grams, but it's still lighter and more compact than the pure comfort-focused sleeping pads like the Thermarest Neoloft or the Xped Megamat Ultra. You have to inflate it fully and then rely on the dimpled baffling pattern in order to provide pressure relief. If you're a side sleeper, this pad is gonna be really comfortable for you because all these little raised, dimpled areas that provide pressure relief. Each one acts as a little air spring, so that when you're laying this on your side especially, it provides pressure relief so your arm isn't going numb and falling asleep, and you're not getting any sort of hip pressure and pain. This is the pad that I use the most and is amazing for side sleepers. You can pick up a lot of the gear that we're talking about today from the sponsor of today's video, Garage Grown Gear. They're known for ultralight gear, but they also carry a bunch of gear made for having fun and being comfortable out on trail. If you want to see what Garage Grown Gear is all about, you should head over to their YouTube channel. They recently started a new series I'm really enjoying where Lloyd, the guy who runs Garage Grown Gear, and other guests run through the latest and greatest new gear. They're talking about the latest and greatest and even show some stuff that hasn't shown up on their website yet. It'd be really cool if I could be a guest on the show at one point. Over the last 5 years of working together, Lloyd and I have become friends. I've developed relationships with other people who work there. They're just an amazing crew and I'd love to spend some more time with them. Go check out Lloyd and the Garage Grown Gear show at the link down in the video description, or just head over to the Garage Grown Gear YouTube channel and check them out for yourself. Next, we're getting into all of my cooking and water stuff. For all of my cooking and food, I like to keep it inside the Backcountry Exposure Mesa bag. It has this big wide opening, which is amazing for being able to see everything you have inside the bag. and is the perfect size for about 2 to 4 day trips. I also love that it's the perfect shape and size to fit inside my packs and take up just one layer. There's something to be said for just efficiency in that kind of way. For my stove, it's a pure comfort item. It's the MSR wind burner at 434 grams. My Ultralight cook system weighs a fraction of what this does. But the wind burner is efficient, it boils fast, works phenomenally in the wind, and is very, very quiet. The Radiant burner is really amazing and makes a big difference relative to other all-in-one cook systems. It's expensive, it's heavy, but it's really hard to appreciate how great it is until you've tried one. My filter of choice is the Platypus Quick Draw, specifically in this pink color. It's a very reliable filter. It's been great for me. It filters very quickly and has a really wide compatibility for water vessels. So you can use the bladder that it comes with, you can use smart water bottles, you can screw it right onto them, or you can use the Canuck bladders, which I think are probably the best pairing for this. I've been using Quick Draws for years now. I switched over to them when I was on the Great Divide Trail in 2021, and they've been my go-to bomb-proof filter ever since. Because it's a lightweight gear list, I've been able to go with a reusable water bottle. There's been a lot of reusable water bottles coming onto the market, but my favorite is the Igneous Gear Nobo bottle. The Nobo bottle is the lightest at 60 grams, and I really like the shape. It's slightly squatter and wider compared to a smart water bottle. It works with flip caps and even has my name on it. It's still about twice the weight of a smart water bottle, but it's awesome to see that we're getting closer and closer to that smart water bottle weight with a reusable bottle. Now we're getting into electronics. For my headlamp, we have the Nightcore NU20 Classic. It's a do-it-all item. It's one of the lightest headlamps on the market, but still has some amazing features. It's USB rechargeable, has good brightness to it, and then has 2 buttons. Yes, 2. One for operating the white light and one for operating the red light. I really just dislike headlamps that only have 1 button in order to control everything on the headlamp, so 2 buttons is really nice, especially in a lightweight package like this. I never leave home without a dedicated SOS device, and I recommend the same for anybody that's going out in the backcountry. My go-to is the Garmin InReach, and whether you're borrowing one or renting one, I definitely recommend using this. I've used and tested the on-device capabilities of iPhones and Android devices, and they're just not up to snuff relative to a dedicated device like an InReach. They're heavy and can be expensive, but I think are worth it. It's rare that an item is light, performs well, is rugged, and is cheap as well, but the Victimux power bank, it hits all those marks and is my go-to lightweight power bank. It's not the lightest on the market at 165 grams, but it's light enough for anyone except the biggest gram weenies out there.
What? But I'm not a weenie.
In order to inflate my sleeping pad, I like to use a pump, and they make some really amazing pumps these days. This is the Aerogogo Giga Air Pump, and it only weighs 35 grams. That's because it uses an external power source, so either your phone or a power bank, in order to power it. And that brings us to hygiene, which is basically pooping and then cleaning yourself up in multiple ways. For my trowel, in order to dig a cat hole, I really like the Bogler trowel. It's just the best, period. In order to clean up after going number 2, you can use toilet paper, smear your poop around, or if you want to smear wet poop around, then you can use wet wipes. Personally, I prefer using a backcountry bidet in order to give myself a little bath and get really clean up there. I find that a bidet just makes it so that I'm not dealing with chafage and smell and issues after multiple days on trail. I used powdered soap from Peak Outdoors Summit Suds in order to help with that bath situation, as well as to wash my hands up afterwards. The other factor is brushing my teeth. I like to use toothpaste tabs because I can allocate just the amount that I need for a trip, and then I use a folding toothbrush in order to brush my teeth. You can get really ultralight toothbrush options with the trail brush as well as those little thumb ones. But I like the folding one because I get a full handle, and I like the folding ability, kind of gives it some coverage and keeps it a little bit cleaner. There's 2 more items I want to talk about, but they're probably the coolest and most useful items on this list. The first one is my new favorite trekking poles. They're made by Diorum and have a couple really good things going for them. First of all, you have this really long contoured handle here, which makes hiking really nice. It feels great in the hand. You also have amazing locking mechanisms. These are the most solid locking mechanisms that I've ever encountered, and they really make it so that the pole feels sturdy and reliable. They also use an aluminum construction, so they are on the heavier side, but still fairly lightweight. To top it all off, they have camera tripod mounting mechanisms at the top, so I can put my camera on top or put an action camera on top. It's really nice if you're filming or want to take pictures while you're out on trail. In case you didn't know, I always hike with 2 trekking poles, but in videos you usually only see one because the other one's being used as a tripod. Then we have the chair. I think a chair is pretty much essential on any trip except the most ultralight trips. And I've been leaning back towards the REI FlexLight Air Chair just because of the price. It only costs $100. It's still as lightweight as the Helinox Chair Zero and the Nemo Moonlight Elite, but at that price is about half the price. Might not be as comfortable as those other chairs and is not as sturdy as them, but it's an amazing value. If you've been on the fence about a backcountry chair just because of the price or the weight, then the FlexLight Air solves both those problems, being basically the lightest weight chair on the market while still being very well priced. There are a bunch of other items that are part of this lightweight gear list, and you can check out my full gear list from Pack Wizard down at the link in the video description. It has all the items that are part of this 15-pound gear list. Go check out this video to see my super ultralight gear list. Everything only weighs 5 pounds, but I bet you'd be surprised with how much comfort I've packed into that weight.